Elon Musk says he would reverse Twitter's ban on former President Trump, saying he wants a social media platform to be a place for debate and free speech. Twitter banned the former president following the January 6th attack on the Capitol after officials accused him of inciting violence. This, of course, comes after Musk reached a deal to buy the company for $44 billion last month. Dan Patterson joins us now with more. It's interesting that Jack Dorsey, the former CEO of Twitter, has also come out and said that he agrees with what Elon Musk is saying today, even though, let's recall, that Jack Dorsey was actually the CEO of Twitter when former President Trump was banned.
And he said it was a mistake.
Says it was a mistake.
To ban the former president.
Why is he saying that now?
That's the billion-dollar question.
$44 billion.
In fact, what has not been very transparent to the public is the years of research and years of work that Twitter's trust and safety team underwent under Jack Dorsey, when Jack Dorsey said, yes, we need to do better at banning not just bots and trolls, but personalities who harass other people or incite violence. Jack Dorsey said that, and he worked to increase the trust and safety team that enforced these rules. He dialed back the funding for that in 2018, and finally, in 2021, he said it was okay to ban people like Donald Trump. So, Vlad, to answer your question, I don't know. Why has he changed his tune? Well, maybe it's because he is no longer the CEO of Twitter, but we do know from other reporting that he has been one of the people whispering into Elon Musk's ear about him potentially buying the site.
You know, all of these social media platforms start out by saying, oh, free speech, this is a way to express yourself, but then eventually they all learn you need guardrails to some degree. So what does Elon Musk say about who should be banned then, if not the former president of the United States?
Almost no one. Musk says they will ban bots and trolls, but Musk is kind of a hypocrite about that. According to the Washington Post reporting, but our own reporting here for literally years, Musk is followed by an army of bots and trolls that boost up Tesla. They boost up his ego. They go on attack against his enemies. So Musk can talk a big game, sure, but the reality, the facts contradict Musk directly.
So we were talking a little earlier about this, the fact that you see people who are on the left who are upset perhaps that Elon Musk is suggesting that former President Trump might come back to Twitter. You see people on the right or supporters of the former president, who are excited about the possibility of his returning to Twitter. I find something interesting. Look, when he's no longer the president of the United States, when former President Obama tweets or a statement is put out by former President Bush, we might remark on it in the newsroom, perhaps in an editorial meeting, but it doesn't get coverage. When he was president, of course his tweets were going to get coverage. He's president of the United States. He's no longer president. I wonder, this is counterintuitive, but I wonder if actually more Republicans are concerned about President Trump returning to Twitter. Why? Because he will attack anyone who he feels is not in his boat, is not supportive, is not loyal. So, hey, watch out, Mitch McConnell. Watch out, Lindsey Graham. Even though you're supposedly friends with the former president, he might one day decide to say something that then activates the people who support him to turn against Republicans that he doesn't like. We know that he doesn't like Democrats, but what about the Republicans? I wonder if there's
Vlad, are you
Go ahead.
No. This is a question to ask, Caitlin or
isn't it interesting though to wonder if more Republicans are worried about that?
Are you suggesting that Twitter could perhaps be weaponized and a tool of propaganda and disinformation, Vlad?
Yes.
Well, we reported,
but not for the people who think that it might be weaponized against.
The sword cuts both ways.
That's right.
I'm not sure where the question is there, but Vlad, as somebody who reported on automated accounts, QAnon and other disinformation accounts, and as somebody who was doxxed in that process, meaning my address was leaked on Twitter to enemies of the president, I can tell you it's a horrifying experience. That is a weapon. It is a tool not just of disinformation and, say, undermining our values and, the January 6th, promoting the January 6th insurrection. It is a weapon. It is a tool that can be turned against enemies, not just of the president, not just of Elon Musk, but almost anyone. And we look at the people who were banned, and those are people who we could probably generously call provocateurs, but were engaged in very similar behavior.
And I think what people need to know, too, about sort of inauthentic posts is that this is a business. for many.
It's a
you
private
know?
company.
Oh yeah, completely. So you've actually sort of you've covered this sort of thing that you know a lot of these posts about the January 6th assault and so on. These are these bots that are easily bought and sold.
Yes, very easily. I mean, look, this morning Elon can talk about banning bots, but I'm not going to name the sites right here. But like, I went to a site that I know that QAnon was using, and many people who are involved in climate change disinformation. Yeah. Look, it costs $8 a month. $8 a month. Not only can you buy followers, which is pretty easy and cheap as well, but you can automate accounts. These are really sophisticated. They work with spreadsheets. You can have tens of thousands of bots, deploy them in different ways, use different types of pictures. I mean, look, this is nominal. We're not talking about a sophisticated weapon. We're talking about Twitter, which is, like you said, Anne-Marie, they're monetized through engagement. Engagement leads to money on Twitter. These bots lead to additional engagement.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, though, that Jack Dorsey, I think it was Jack Dorsey who said that, look, banning former President Trump from Twitter hasn't silenced him. So it hasn't really, I mean, he still is, whenever he releases a statement, we cover
really
that.
The point? Was it the point to silence him? No, the point is you can't use this platform for misinformation, for example, that may lead to people making decisions that could kill them. Like of course you're not going to silence the President of the United States. And we talked about that. Anytime he wants to talk, you know, the mainstream media is going to cover it. So
and ironically, Twitter is about to become a private company. A private company that can do whatever it wants. Mm-hmm. If the government tries to regulate the speech of a private company, that's the issue. The government isn't doing that. Twitter can do whatever it wants as a private company. It has nothing to do with free speech. Mm-hmm. Zero. It's a red herring to say that it's free speech at stake.
Yeah, that's a good
like
reminder.
You said,
I meant to say that it's about to become a private company. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Dan, really great.
It's always
Great
good
to
talking
see
to you,
you.
Dan.
Yeah, it really is.